Cartoon TV. Jism Part 1. Shikha was a gorgeous young woman who had recently shifted to Delhi from Mumbai for some official work, and she had got a bungalow to stay in from her company. The night had gotten dark and it was raining heavily, and because of that, Shikha preferred to sleep. It was 2 in the midnight and she couldn't hear anything other than the tick-tock of the wall clock. And just then, Shikha woke up abruptly.
What a pathetic dream it was. God knows why do I see such terrifying dreams. Anyway, now that I've woken up, let me just eat something.
Shikha had woken up of a nightmare. She often saw such weird dreams, but she wasn't aware of the reality behind those nightmares. Shikha reached the kitchen and started to look for something to eat. And just then, she felt someone's presence behind her. And as she turned back to see who it was, she got chills down her spine. She saw that her house help was standing there holding a lantern in her hand and looking dead in her eyes. Huh? Who does that, Sunita? You almost gave me a heart attack. Shikha found this behavior of her house help a little strange, but ignoring that, she asked Sunita to get something to eat for her, and she went to her room. In a few minutes, Sunita came there with something to eat for Shikha, just when someone rang the bell. Who could it be at this point of time? Sunita, go check. Sunita walked down the stairs to reach the door and opened it.
Hey, I'm Pranav. Actually, my car broke down and it's raining heavily. Can I stay here tonight?
On listening to this, Sunita refused the boy to come inside the bungalow. But Pranav kept requesting Sunita to let him stay there just for a night or until the rain stops. But Sunita didn't hear anything. Shikha could hear some noise coming from downstairs, and so she left her plate and walked down to see what was going on. And on reaching to the gate, she found Pranav entirely drenched in rain and saw his broken car. And on understanding the entire situation, Shikha said, Sunita, it's just about a night. Let him come in. Seeing Shikha understand his situation, Pranav said,
Hey, I'm Pranav. Thanks a lot for helping. Or else God knows what would I have done in such a situation.
Seeing his charming and strong personality and hearing his masculine voice, Shikha felt an attraction towards Pranav and passed a sweet smile and asked Sunita to show him the room for his stay for that day. Sunita did not like what Shikha was doing, and with this, she unwillingly accompanied Pranav to show him the room. The night was getting darker. There was a deafening silence in the entire bungalow. Shikha too had gone to sleep. The cold breeze around the bungalow was making the scene even more terrifying. On the other hand, Shikha felt as if someone was sitting on her head. And as she half opened her eyes, her voice got stuck in her throat. Shikha saw an entirely saturated body whose hands and neck were falling from its place, and his face was covered with hair. He's obnoxiously trying to touch Shikha. Seeing that, Shikha lost all her cool and screamed, And that's when she woke up from sleep. Shikha just wasn't unable to comprehend as to what has happened with her. Another terrifying nightmare has woken her up. Ah! 2 consecutive nightmares in a single night. This is the first time this has happened. What's going on? Can't even sleep properly. Shikha just then heard some strange noise at her door. She stood up and went to the door. And as she opened up the gate, she saw Pranav standing on the other side.
Are you alright? Actually, I heard you scream and came here to check on you if everything's fine or not.
Yes, I'm fine.
If you don't mind, can we talk for some time? Since this place is new for me, so I'm unable to sleep here.
Yeah, sure, why not? Shikha and Pranav were complete strangers for each other, but yet they decided to spend some time together. Both of them started to talk, and they talked about each other's work and other stuff for quite long. Listening to Pranav's talk, Shikha got even more attracted towards him. Pranav too, on the other hand, liked Shikha's calm nature. And then Shikha mentioned about the nightmares she's been seeing, to which he replied,
I guess some of your old longings are still unfulfilled.
Shikha didn't understand, so she smiled.
There you go. You at least giggled. I have been waiting for this only.
Shikha and Pranav didn't even realize that when they came so close to each other, and both of them got carried away. It was 3 a.m, and Shikha had fallen asleep. She felt that Pranav was still there and was caressing her hair. She felt good in Pranav's presence, and she wanted him to stay. She had a subtle smile on her face. She opened her eyes, and it was as if her entire body was paralyzed because of fear. The soggy body she had seen in her dreams was sitting over her, and he was looking dead into her eyes, with a smirk on his face. Shikha was unable to utter even a single word, and yet she gathered some courage and managed to say, Who are you?
I told you, right? That probably some of your old longings are still unfulfilled.
Pranav?
Don't you remember me? I have been waiting here for last 25 years for you to come. Shikha, when you left me hanging alone with my feelings and your fragrance that night, promising me that you would come back. But you didn't come back. And since then, I have been waiting to make you mine. My body that was left cold has felt divorced again, only because of you.
Jason Part 2. Himani had been waiting for someone for quite long enough that she had already gulped down around 4 cups of coffee. And because she had been waiting for so long, she got furious, and in aggression, she called someone and started to scream, and within a few seconds, she hung up the call. She was so agitated that she decided to leave the cafe and asked the waiter to bring the bill. A boy whose name was Pulkit was sitting at some distance, and he was keenly observing all her actions. He could see that Himani was furious, and so he said,
I guess the coffee was too hot, and hence it's gotten on your head.
Excuse me?
Hey, I'm Pulkit, and I have been noticing you for quite long. You seem a little bit upset and frustrated. Mind sharing?
Thanks, but no thanks.
My friends often say that my company is fabulous. You can try me. If you feel like I'm making you coy, you are free to leave anytime.
Himani was already agitated, and listening to this, her anger grew multiple folds. She paid the bill and left from the cafe. Pulkit started to follow Himani. He thought that because of him, Himani felt bad and he had spoiled her day. And he started to follow her to apologize. And these actions made Himani even more mad at him. Thus, she started to scream at him and asked him to leave her alone. Seeing the situation getting out of hand, Pulkit stopped following her and went back to the cafe. The night was getting dark. Himani had no vehicle to go back home, and so she kept walking to her house. The road was empty and seemed very risky to be walking alone. Himani just wanted to reach her home as fast as she could. She took her phone and dialed someone, but nobody answered the call. Himani got anxious and so she started to sweat. Himani was walking frantically so that she could reach her home safely. Because of the dark, Himani couldn't see the stone on the road, and because of which she tripped over. Himani got hurt badly. She was bleeding just when someone came and gave her a hand. Himani was super scared, and as she looked up at the man's face, she was surprised to see.
Ashok, you?
Himani's husband Ashok had come there looking for her.
Ashok, I had been calling you for hours. You couldn't take out some time from your busy schedule for me, even on our anniversary?
Seeing Himani crib so much, Ashok started to laugh and he mentioned something about surprising her. Listening to which, Himani was flabbergasted. And just then, Ashok's phone rang. He answered the call and told Himani that he has some urgent work in office and so he has to go from there. Ashok left Himani by herself on that road. And seeing all of this, Himani was devastated and she returned to the cafe. And there, she found Pulkit sitting there. On seeing Pulkit there, she felt calm and better and apologized to him for her harsh words. Pulkit was a jovial individual, so he immediately forgave Himani. Both of them talked for quite long, and in some time, Pulkit asked Himani to come over to his place. Listening to this, Himani contemplated that if she would go out with a stranger, then it might make Ashok envious, and he would pay more attention towards Himani. And so, she agreed to go with him. Pulkit unlocked his car and took Himani to his place.
Whoa! Is this where you live?
On listening to this, Pulkit laughed and gave an affirmative answer. And on the other hand, Himani felt ineffable on seeing such a luxurious mansion in front of her. Both of them entered the mansion, after which Pulkit led Himani straight away to his room. And both of them came really close to each other.
Hello? Where are you, Himani? I'm waiting for you at home.
Give me some time, I'll be there.
Receiving her husband's call, Himani gains her conscious that what wrong she was about to do. She anxiously answered Ashok's call and she left Pulkit's place. Himani, as soon as she got out of the mansion, she saw that a man was standing right in front of her. His head was covered in a hoodie. Himani was terrified and started to ask the reason as to why was he standing there, but that man didn't utter a single word. After killing Himani, that anonymous man went straight to Pulkit's room. But
This is what I wanted. No, Himani would only be mine. I made you do something that my corpse couldn't do.
but why are you telling me all this?
Because this is your story only.
What? My story?
I have been waiting for you since 25 years. Shikha, you have been reincarnated and you have no idea what all I have done to make you mine. Since the day I saw you, I had put myself on stake. I made a deal with this Satan so that I could gain enough power to destroy anyone who tries to come between us.
What was it? What did you do? Jism Part 3.
Himani.
Who was this person who was repeatedly calling out Himani's name? And what was he doing there in this condition? What was the truth of this man?
Come out, your relatives are here to see you.
Pulkit, are you going to accept your crime or not? There is no point in doing all this. You can't fool us. We know you are not retarded. You are just trying to find an escape.
I don't think he's going to spit out anything even today. We should come again with evidences and then see how would he escape that.
Pulkit had been in this mental asylum for quite long. Apparently, he is accused of having murdered his wife. And perhaps he was deliberately trying to convince everyone that he isn't mentally stable. Pulkit is a psycho man who could cross any limits to attain what he wants. If he wants something, he would get it, by hook or by crook.
Grandpa, please take your medicines on time and follow all instructions. I promise we will go to all the places that you planned. I'll serve the food. I have to leave for home as well. I don't know, but Ashok has started to lose his temper real quick. If I don't meet him on time, then he will make fuss out of it too.
Himani's grandfather was undergoing treatment for years in this mental asylum located in Delhi. Himani frequently visited the asylum because except her grandfather had no other family. Himani was a super gorgeous and a coy woman. On seeing Himani, Pulkit had fallen head over heels for her and started to fascinate about making her his. Pulkit was a psycho and an obsessive man who could stoop very low, whose intentions were more or less similar to cause harm to Himani as he did with his wife.
I know that this girl is driving you crazy, and if you want, I can help you. I can help you to get this girl forever.
Listening to what Rahu said, Pulkit felt something shady about him, and so he asked Rahu to leave from there. To which Rahu said,
I know that you are not mad. You are perfectly fine. And I even know that you are madly in love with that girl. You won't be able to do all by yourself. There is only one guy who can help you in it, and that's me.
Pulkit was a cunning man. He inquired more about it and asked Rahu how he will do it.
I have been practicing the art of black magic and possessing spirits for quite long. And if I want, I can turn a live man into a corpse and a corpse into a live man. And seeing you, I can tell you that you won't be able to get Himani just like that. But if you really want her to be yours, you have to be the part of the dark and sinful world. And that can only happen when you leave this world forever and accept that world.
And how will I be able to do so?
By sacrificing yourself. But it's all up to you. The final call will be yours to take. If you are in, then I can help you. But if you're not, then also it's your call.
Yes, I can go beyond any limits to get Himani. Do whatever you want to. I'm in.
Alright then, tomorrow is a full moon night. Meet me here only at around midnight. I will help you open all the gates for you to fulfill your longings.
And the next night, both Rahu and Pulkit met in the same room. Rahu had been already waiting there for Pulkit.
You have to take your own life.
Pulkit had already crossed every limit, and what he was doing now was beyond the natural cycle of life and death. And in just a few minutes, Pulkit had offered himself to the dark world. The room had filled with a deafening silence. There was an awkward while that had taken over, just when an evil spirit came out of the room. And in split seconds, that spirit turned into good.
Now you are absolutely free. Absolutely free. to do whatever you want to. Go get her.
What? Himani is cheating on me? But tomorrow is our wedding anniversary. And she? I'm gonna tell her now. Detective.
Naive Himani was unaware of everything that was going on at her back. That someone is going to enter her life and will turn it upside down. Pulkit was now free to execute his evil plans, to make Himani his. And to ruin her relationship with Ashok, he had already used his first tactic. Planting the seed of suspicion in Ashok's mind, the devilish spirit had done half of his work. And now he was waiting for the consequences of his actions.
Ashok, tomorrow's plan is on, right? I will wait for you in the cafe after office. And mind you, don't be late tomorrow. Anyway, I will leave for now. Gotta go.
Himani left from there. Ashok, who was filled with anger and suspicion, wanted to find Himani's new lover. And for that, he hired a professional detective. The detective immediately got to the work and started to observe Himani's every small action and informed Ashok.
Sir, you have been right all this while. Your wife is having an extramarital affair.
Where are you, Himani? I'm waiting for you at home.
Give me some time. I'm on my way. Coming.
Ashok took a really drastic step in his aggression and murdered her right there.
Today, I won't spare her lover either.
Ashok now understood everything that was going on.
This is what I wanted. Now, Himani would only be mine. I made you do something that my gods couldn't do. And now, in the next life, only I would have all the authority on Himani. Now I can wait for Himani in peace here.
Scared and anxious, Shikha somehow managed to run out of the room. The entire bungalow was filled up with Shikha's scream. "Save me, someone!" Kept running in order to save herself from the spirit. Pranav's spirit had taken a form of black smoke and kept following Shikha everywhere. Listening to Shikha scream so much, Sunita frantically came out from the kitchen, and seeing Shikha run rampantly, Sunita ran towards Shikha.
What happened, ma'am? But what happened? Why are you running like that?
On asking about what happened, Shikha told everything about Pranav to Sunita, to which she replied.
Are you Himani?
Listening to what Sunita said, Shikha got shocked. Everyone around that bungalow, including Sunita, knew about that spirit waiting for his love. But still, Sunita was taking care of that bungalow. And just then, all the lights in the bungalow started to flicker. Seeing this, Sunita advised Shikha to run away from there. There was an unusual and strange rustle of air all around the bungalow. As Shikha ran towards the main door, it rampantly got closed on its own. The only way to move out of that haunted bungalow was now closed. And as Sunita saw all this happening with Shikha, she tried to help her. But an anonymous power held her back. No matter how hard she tried to move ahead, she couldn't. Sunita, what's happening with you? Why aren't you able to move?
That devil energy is holding me so that I can't help you. And that psycho succeed in his evil plan.
And in just a few seconds, Sunita was flying in the air. What is happening with you? Who's doing it?
Don't you worry about me. You just carefully listen to what I'm going to say. You save yourself. Your life is more precious. Run away from here, or else this psycho won't leave you alive.
But how? Sunita started to fly here and there in the air. How should I save myself from this psycho?
This psycho can't even touch me till I have...
Yes, go ahead.
After I die, please look at me meticulously. You'll get it.
After you die? But he can't even touch you, right?
Now he can.
Sunita! 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 Shikha was now completely alone in that bungalow, and all that she was left with was fearful silence. And because of fear, she wasn't able to comprehend anything that was going on around her. Just when a shadow started to revolve all around her.
Shikha, my sweetheart, now what will happen with you? Huh?
Look, please let me go. I haven't done anything wrong to you.
You are going to stay here now with me forever, forever.
Shikha got badly stuck in the trap that was laid by the ghost. She wasn't able to find any escape to the situation she was in. And in her vulnerability, she sat near Sunita's corpse and bursted into tears. I don't know how will I survive here. That psycho would kill me too. Sunita, you left me alone here to die. How would I be able to protect myself? Wait a minute. You were saying something after you die, but he can't even touch you, right? Why did you ask me to see your corpse? What is it that you were pointing at? I don't get it. As she remembered, she started to look at her meticulously. Sunita, what were you trying to say? I just can't see anything. Neither I'm able to comprehend of what you said. Amid this frantic situation, Shikha's eye fell on a tooth that was knotted in Sunita's sari, which appeared to look like an elephant's tooth. Shikha didn't understand everything, but certainly she understood something. Probably this is why that psycho spirit wasn't able to do anything to Sunita. And when she saw that my life was in danger, she gave up her only protective charm against that psycho for me. Sunita, thanks a lot for doing this. I won't let your sacrifice go into vain.
Now I have to save myself to do justice to Sunita's sacrifice.
Wearing that amulet made with the tooth, Shikha took an oath to fight for her life. Shikha investigated that bungalow for some time, and during her investigation, she came across a red door. Which had a lock hanging outside. She was curious to find out what was behind that door. She started to break the lock, and as she opened the gate, her eyes were left wide open. She was trembling with fear. The room was filled with hanging dead bodies. One thing was now vivid, that all those people were sacrificed. And to understand it further, Shikha went inside the room and started to look for something that would help her find an escape. Just some time into the investigation, she found a book that had some instructions on how to perform black magic, which taught as to how a spirit can obtain more dark powers from time to time. And on reading it further, Shikha thought to herself, if any of these instructions are not followed, or any of the sacrifices are not done according to the procedures, then there are chances that I can destroy that psycho. Just when Shikha saw Pranav's spirit, her heart skipped a beat.
So someone trying to investigate me, huh? Go ahead, do whatever you want. You still won't be able to do anything to me.
That psycho started to move towards Shikha. He wanted to control Shikha's body, but as he tried to touch her,
that means you have figured out about this amulet. This you didn't do. Good, Shikha. Now you just wait and watch. Your death is confirmed.
Shikha, who was already filled with fear, continued with her investigation. After trying everything, she finally found a locked box. Along with the box, she found a letter which had something written over it. It says, "Your amulet is the key to this lock." And without wasting even a second, Shikha unlocked that mystery box with her amulet, which had a sparkling knife in it. But before she could pick it up,
This means you won't understand like this. Now you just wait and watch what I'm gonna do to you.
Shikha started to run with the box in her hand, but the ghost flipped her in the air, because of which box fell on the ground and the ghost was trying to take control of Shikha's body once again. Shikha was screaming because of excruciating pain. Shikha had removed her amulet in order to open the box. So now she had nothing that could save her. And because of this, it became even more easy for the ghost to control her. Shikha was screaming really loud. Shikha was suffering the pain, and that psycho was torturing her. Pain was so excruciating that she couldn't bear it and fainted. Seeing Shikha lose her conscience, that psycho dropped her on the floor and started preparations to sacrifice her.
I'll possess your soul after I sacrifice you. And then you will be mine forever.
And on the other hand, Shikha, who was acting to be unconscious in front of the ghost, started to swiftly move towards the sparkling knife. But seeing deadly sight of the corpse hanging and blood all around her, it made her nauseous. She somehow managed to take hold of the knife. But as Pranav saw her, he pulled her towards him. Pranav's devil spirit sat on Shikha just when she stabbed him in his chest. But Shikha wasn't able to comprehend anything, and Pranav, on the other hand, started to give Shikha even more pain for causing pain to him. He started to stab Shikha with his sharp, long nails. This excruciating pain was unbearable for Shikha. The knife that she was holding got slipped from her hand and fell in the fire. On seeing this, that psycho started to scream real bad.
Shikha! Shikha! No!
As the knife was melting in the fire, that soggy body of that psycho Pranav started to burn. That psycho was screaming like mad in the entire room. But he wasn't Pranav. And with him getting burnt, all the alive corpses started to burn as well. All of them were turned into ashes. It was quite clear now that Pranav's life was kept safe in that knife. And as that psycho died, even Shikha got freed from his trap. She had no idea that the soggy body she had been seeing in her dreams would turn out to be real one day. And the context attached to it would be so terrifying. But now, she wouldn't have to combat any of such dreams.
If you enjoyed this video, do like, share and comment. And to be the first person to watch our videos, make sure to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for timely notifications.